stage in a second. And he will present about his experiences about teaching Erlang and Elixir on YouTube and how to gain more Erlang programmers and Elixir programmers in our community.
Okay, thank you very much for this opportunity. Is my sound okay? Can you see my screen?
All good, perfect.
Okay, so I'm going to talk about my experience teaching Erlang and Elixir on YouTube. My name is Adolfo Neto. I'm an associate professor at the Federal University of Technology, Paraná. And these slides and a little bit more are here on this link. I typed this link on the chat. And so I have two channels. This one is only in English and only about Elixir, Erlang, and the Bean. And this one is in Portuguese, and I do several other things also here. And my focus in my videos that are about Elixir and Erlang is more on beginners than on experienced developers. So that's my point of view. And these are my numbers, very small numbers for this year. Some Elixir videos in Portuguese. I have 16 videos in total. 1,100 are about to 1,200 views, and Erlang videos in Portuguese 15. And there's one in which I have. It was not a good idea, but I did Elixir and Erlang, and some videos in English. And there are two talks, one from Laura and one from Simon Thompson, that they gave to my students here at the university. And the types of videos that I do, it's more, there is one Learn You Some Erlang series where I'm reading, I'm covering Fred Ebert's book. Why did I shoot Fred Ebert's book? Because it's a free book. And sometimes I read a comment, a blog post, or Elixir school page, or I solve an exercise from Exercism, Advent of Code. But of course, there are other channels around, and there is this one called Erlang Tutorial. And also there are some old videos, for instance, Basic Erlang 1 by Simon Thompson. And also this one is interesting because it seems more focused on advanced programmers, or at least intermediate programmers, because it's for people that want to create a cryptocurrency trading bot. I don't see a beginner, I want to create a cryptocurrency trading bot. So, but you see that it's very popular, more than 5,000 views, and it's from last year. But of course, there are some questions like, is Elixir a good language for beginners in programmer? Is Erlang a good language for beginners? And I know there are already a lot of resources for more experienced programmers, great books, and of course, it's easier to focus on more experienced programmers because those, if they work with another language, they can pay with money or time to learn Elixir and Erlang. And maybe the best things that you have in the Bean are only understandable by more advanced programmers. So of course, if you want to create Elixir Erlang videos for beginners, there are some basic generic ideas that are valid for any YouTube video. But the goal of this lightning talk, is to get idea that maybe are not useful not only for me, but for other people, maybe that can also create their own videos. And I want to get input from you, how to bring more beginners to our Bean community. Maybe with creative coding, maybe for instance, there is a great Groxio series of videos about Tetris in Elixir. But how to reach more people, how to be more effective when producing videos. So that was the goal of this talk. If you want to contribute ideas, you can talk now, or there in this link, which I put on the chat, you can also write your ideas. Thank you very much.
Thank you for this overview. Have you a few questions? One by Pujo. How comfortable are you with YouTube's algorithm and the rule that imposes to content creators?
Well, I'm a professor. I have my salary, so I don't care much about the YouTube algorithm. I like that sometimes some people that I don't know say, "Oh, I have watched your video about Erlang. I already know Elixir, and I'm studying Erlang now because of your video." That's my simple answer. I don't care right now. I just like that YouTube is a place where I can upload my video and it's free.
And I think that's a great service to the community. Thank you very much. And
Thank you.
Another question by Laura. As a non-English native, I too have a recurrent doubt about creating content in languages other than English. Given that you do both, what are your thoughts on this?
Okay, yes, that's for me. Of course, it's much easier to create videos in Portuguese, and I force myself to also create videos in English in order to practice my English, which is not perfect, far from that. And I see that there is some space here in Brazil. Brazil is a large country with a very big population, and there are some very popular YouTubers that they produce content in Portuguese, and it's about software development. Of course, there are other YouTubers, but some YouTubers, they produce content about software development, and they have a very large audience. So I think it's possible.
Yes.
I'm not sure I have answered Laura Castro's question, but
I think that's a common problem all of us non-natives kind of share, that I felt very uncomfortable when I had to start recording all my lecture videos for lectures under Corona. So I can totally understand that it can be a bit intimidating to put it so public, but I think your English is very understandable and pretty well. So I hope that even beyond the Brazilian and Portuguese community, people will be able to benefit from the material. And then probably a final question from Fred that is related to which programming style should come first. Do you find it easier to teach programming to people whose mind have not been polluted by imperative programming?
Yes, that's a good question for which I don't have an answer, because all my students, when they arrive to me, they already know some other language, maybe 1 year, 2 years, because I teach Introduction to Functional Programming, which is an optative. It's not mandatory, so I really don't know. I would like to have the opportunity to go to the first year students and teach them Elixir or Erlang, but right now I can't do that.
Yeah, so from our experience too, we started here now teaching functional programming in the first term, and if people need to unlearn, it's sometimes very painful. It doesn't hold for everybody. Some students are just very good in understanding the right abstractions, but unlearning is definitely a thing, right?
That's
and then yeah, and then Pujo, finally, how do you measure success? So how do you know if people actually learn something from your video? I think that's a very difficult question, because measuring the effectiveness of teaching is, I think, or would assume, from my knowledge, still a pretty open problem, right?
Yes, I really don't know, because I know that people watch because I see the numbers, but maybe they didn't watch really. They just let it play and they didn't pay attention. So it's impossible. I'm also a podcaster. We have a podcast in Portuguese about Elixir called Elixir in Foco. And also it's the same thing. I only see, oh, there is 100 plays, 200 plays, but I can't tell you that, oh, people really listen to, unless they have some question that it's relevant to the content, which occurs once in a while, but it's far from frequent.
Mm-hmm. So Laura was asking, what about comments? Do you get a lot of comments back on the videos?
No, not a lot of comments, and once in a while there is a comment in a video, or because we also, the Brazilian community is very active on Telegram. We have at least 2 Telegram groups for Brazilian Elixir, and at three for Brazilian Elixir and Erlang developers. So there, sometimes I get some comment. Oh, this was nice, but nothing that I could say. For instance, I could answer Brujo that, oh, this is people actually learn from my videos. I can't tell that right now.
Mm-hmm. There's one more suggestion regarding how to make them better findable and searchable on YouTube. But we'll move that one to the break and continue with the next lightning talk. Thank you, Adolfo, for these insights and your engagement in the community. Thumbs up for you. Okay, and with this, we have here the second lightning talk speaker.